Our New Testament lesson today is from Hebrews 11:29 through 34. By faith, the people passed through the Red Sea as if it were dry land. But when the Egyptians attempted to do so, they were drowned. By faith, the walls of Jericho fell after they had been encircled for 7 days. By faith, Rahab the prostitute did not perish with those who were disobedient, because she had received the spies in peace. And what more should I say? For time would fail me to tell of Gideon, Barak, Samson, Jephthah, of David and Samuel and the prophets, who through faith conquered kingdoms, administered justice, obtained promises, shut the mouths of lions, quenched raging fire, escaped the edge of the sword, won strength out of weakness, became mighty in war, put foreign armies to flight. This is the word of the Lord. One time when I was in college and was visiting home, my father was sitting at the dining room table in what appeared to me to be a rather rare reflective mood. And sort of all of a sudden he came out with this sentence: I like to deal with ideas and with people. And that struck me at the time, and I never really forgot it. And I think that the reason is because I have always liked to deal with ideas and with people also. And in college I was already being drawn toward philosophy, which deals with ideas. And the kinds of ideas that I wound up really liking were ideas about ultimate reality and about the nature of meaning in life. And so in college I then discovered theology. And boy, that was exciting, because I learned that people can devote their whole lives to studying ultimates, studying reality and meaning in life. That was very exciting, and I guess I shouldn't be surprised then that I ended up going to seminary. You can deal with lots of ideas in seminary. Ideas about ultimate reality, about God, about meaning in life. So earlier in life, I dealt more with ideas than with people. But then I took a little church after graduation. It was in East Tennessee. And there is where I really began learning about dealing with people. Now, it turned out that the first person I had to deal with was me. I began learning what the author of Hebrews meant when he wrote, by faith. By faith. People passed through the Red Sea as if it were dry land. By faith. The walls of Jericho fell after they had been encircled for 7 days. And on through all the Old Testament characters. By faith, great things happened. Well, I needed to learn to live better by faith, trusting in God to help me learn ministry and dealing with people. So I had to deal with my own self and faith first. Well, then the next person I had to deal with was not just one person, but many people, i.e. the whole congregation. Turns out that everybody needs to learn to live by faith. They all are trying to get through life. In work, in family, and in just plain living. And so all the people were needing to ask God for help in getting through life. And then they were having to learn to deal with each other in the church and help each other deal with living in faith. I'll tell you what now, ministry may be many things, but it's not boring. People's lives matter, and they come out and you learn a lot. Well, that's when, really, as I was getting more and more steeped in dealing with people, that's when the Bible started coming alive in a new way. Now, I can tell you that the academic study of the Bible is itself very meaningful. It opens your eyes to a lot of things. But one thing academic study of the Bible doesn't quite get to is the relation of it to the living of our lives in all of our concrete circumstances. And so, another part of my learning that I could only have learned in ministry is how the Bible includes all the ideas, the ultimate ideas, and all the issues of human life and how God helps people live by faith. So that was an eye-opener too. Now, the reason that I entitled my sermon Fire and Rain is that this song, very famous song by James Taylor, that's the title of the song, it powerfully expresses what it is like for the people of the church to live by faith, seeking God's help in the midst of difficult experiences in life. So I want to share some of this with you. He starts off telling us what's going on. Just yesterday morning, they let me know you were gone. He has lost somebody. Suzanne, the plans they made put an end to you. He is a grieving person. He has lost somebody he cares about deeply. I walked out this morning and I wrote down this song. I just can't remember who to send it to. Doesn't that sound like somebody who's grieving? And then his refrain is his lament. I've seen fire and I've seen rain. I've seen sunny days that I thought would never end. I've seen lonely times when I could not find a friend, but I always thought that I'd see you again. Then the very next verse is when he asked God, the Lord, for help. Won't you look down on me, Jesus? You've got to help me take a stand. You've just got to see me through another day. My body's aching, and my time is at hand, and I won't make it any other way. Oh, I've seen fire and I've seen rain. I've seen sunny days that I thought would never end. I've seen lonely times when I could not find a friend, but I always thought that I'd see you again. And then he does something else very characteristic of one who is bereaved and mourning. He thinks back on better times. Been walking my mind to an easy time, my back turned towards the sun. Lord knows when the cold wind blows, it'll turn your head around. Well, there's hours of time on the telephone line to talk about things to come. Sweet dreams and flying machines in pieces on the ground. Oh, I've seen fire and I've seen rain. I've seen sunny days that I thought would never end. I've seen lonely times when I could not find a friend. But I always thought that I'd see you, baby. one more time again. The author of Hebrews knew well the difficulty of grief and the difficulty of other struggles in life. And he summed up living by faith this way. Let us run with perseverance the race that is set before us, looking to Jesus, the pioneer and perfecter of our faith. Well, if I had to deal with my own self and faith, and I had to deal with the selves and faith of church members, I learned that dealing with people did not stop there. It turned out that all of the church family had to deal with their own selves and faith and with that of each other, not just for themselves, but in order to prepare them to deal with people out in the world. Living in faith helps us, but it also prepares us. A very well-known theologian named Stanley Hauerwas put it this way. It was May in 2012, and he was making a commencement address to a group of graduates. And he started by telling this story about himself. He had been preparing to take a well-deserved sabbatical. So he was sitting and having a conversation with his friends. And of course, they all knew better than he did how he should take his sabbatical. So they were advising him on this matter. One of his friends was not a Christian. And this friend told Stanley Hauerwas that he admired Hauerwas' friends because for their being identified as Christian, even though he himself didn't really understand what that meant to them. And Hauerwas just sort of spontaneously came out with this response. Well, I'm happy to be a Christian because being a Christian gives me something to do. Well, in his surprise at what he said, he wasn't quite sure, but he used that as a jumping off point for his commencement address, unfolding something meaningful there. Here's what I think it meant. I think it means that God has given Christians something to do. And what God has given Christians to do is to deal with people in the world around us. And how do I know that? I know that from another songwriter. This songwriter was the psalmist who wrote Psalm 82. Here are these lyrics. God has taken his place in the divine council. In the midst of the gods, he holds judgment. And here's what God says. How long will you judge unjustly and show partiality to the wicked? Give justice to the weak and the orphan. And that means we here should look around us to see how we can give justice to the weak and the orphan. Maintain the right of the lowly and destitute. That means we here should look around and see how we can help the lowly and the destitute. Rescue the weak and the needy. That means we here should look around us and see how we can help rescue the weak and the needy. Deliver them from the hand of the wicked. That means we should look around and see how we can help. So, yes, we seek to live by faith. We seek to love each other in the church. And all of that is a good preparation for reaching out into the world and being the body of Christ in the world, dealing with people according to the job that God has given us. So in the face of God's challenge, may we follow this advice of Hebrews. Let us run with perseverance the race that is set before us, looking to Jesus, the pioneer and perfecter of our faith. Amen.